And right now, what I call that is level 4 value creation. So I call it L4VC. And what that means is that the people who are able to differentiate and create a compelling case for change and build that strategic partnership are playing a different game. They've still got a good product, they've still got a good experience, they can still get the business outcomes. But what they're doing is working on what are the most strategic outcomes that this client needs? How do I help them envision and create a future that they can't yet imagine? They can't see this future, so I'm going to come in and give them a vision of that future or help modify their vision. And I'm going to become an integrated part of their decision making. If you read the blog and you watch the daily YouTube channel here, you probably think that I work all the time, but it's not true. Occasionally, I sit on the beach for a half an hour and I eat lunch and I hang out, and I'm probably going to go jump in the ocean in a few minutes and spend a little time in the water because I love blue water. So it's not all work. Sometimes it's fun and games, and then I'll go back to the hotel and do some more work. So Amy asks me over Facebook Messenger, what is the major disconnect between sales and marketing today? And what you have to think about to answer this question is the 4 levels of value. And level 1 means you've got a great product. Level 2 means you've got a great experience, which is service and support. Level 3 means you have a great solution so you can prove your ROI. But level 4 means you have a strategic level of value that speaks to something else. It speaks to the question, why should I change what I'm doing right now? And that means you have to be able to talk about political circumstances. You've got to be able to talk about economic circumstances. You've got to be able to talk about technological, scientific, and cultural changes. You've got to be able to talk about threats to the business model. You've got to be able to talk about opportunities to do something different and produce a better result or leapfrog your competitor. Those are the things that it's interesting and relevant for a salesperson to talk about when they're sitting across from decision makers in a customer's account. Here's the thing, if you were to take all of your marketing material and lay it out across the table, what you're going to find is that most of the marketing content is at level 1 or level 2. It's product specific or it's experience specific. And when you get into case studies and sometimes white papers, you may have some things that start to approach level 3. So it's about the tangible results you produce, it's about an ROI, and everybody can play at all 3 of these levels. Where you're really going to find a difference in salespeople is when they're selling strategic advantage, when they become an integrated part of the client's decision making. And to do that, they need level 4 content. They need content that answers the question, why should I change and do something different than I'm doing right now? And listen, the status quo is deeply entrenched. People don't want to change. They have what I call post-traumatic recessionary stress disorder. And so it's very difficult for them to move off of a dime and do something. They can't get consensus within their own organization. And they need a salesperson who can help drive that change. And that means you have to be able to show them all of the negative repercussions of the status quo. So what are the implications of not changing? And you also have to have marketing material that says, what are the opportunities for you? What are you going to get if you do change? And so if you want to know what the major disconnect is, it's messaging. And stack up all your marketing material on a table and look at how much of it's level 1. It talks about you, it talks about your company, it talks about products, it talks about features, it talks about benefits. And then look at the stuff that's a level 2. It'll be a smaller stack, but there will be things about experience. And then look at this tiny stack that's case studies. Look at that small amount of material, and then there will be very little that says, why should I change and do something different? That's the disconnect. So if a salesperson wants to nurture a relationship with insight, and they want to continually convey a message of value so that they're known as a value creator and they can become a trusted advisor, they need a very different level of content. And look, marketing sending out a message is not the same as nurturing, and it's not what a salesperson needs. They need content that they can customize and tailor, put their own message, their own stamp, and their own signature on it, and drop it with clients so that they're showing that they have knowledge about what needs to change, why it needs to change, how it needs to change, and then what the client gains from having gone through that change. That's the major disconnect. I'm Anthony Iannarino from Miami, Florida for a couple more days. This is Everyday. Hit the subscribe button and I will see you tomorrow.